okay?
I don't know.
Okay, did you call the police yet?
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna call an advocate and you can tell us both at the same time, okay?
Hey, Sarah, your dad told me that you need help.
So, is there anything that I need to do, or...?
Just focus on getting better.
With an advocate on your side, you're never alone.
Today's the day! And look who I just met.
Hey, Dad.
You deserve a worry-free recovery. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show, live on your YouTube machine, presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. You deserve an advocate, man. When you've been in an accident, it's one of the worst days of your life. You're trying to figure out up from down. Let the advocates take all that worry and stress off your plate. Clear, risk-free advice when you need it most. That's what you get at theadvocates.com, where you can chat with an injury attorney live online for free, and it won't cost you a dime at theadvocates.com. A big morning for you. NBA tipped off last night. I got to tell you, this Utah Jazz fandom already in panic, even before tip-off. Guys, chill out. I would like to thank my guy, the greatest player anybody's ever seen, ever on the history of the world, Devin Booker, who last night on Prize Picks. Now, I also have a steadfast rule on Prize Picks. You never take your favorite player. Right? So Jake should never take Bronny James.
Right.
I should never take Devin Booker because Bookmaster Flash last night had a 24.5 point number. 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Who wants to guess what he finished at?
23.
25. That motherfucker. No, man. He never lets me down. He never lets me down.
Right.
He came through with that
He
last.
knows it's you.
That last dime piece for the old Marty machine. He knows, man. He knows. Was amazing. It was amazing. 2 for 2 in NBA on Prize Picks. We'll talk about that coming up. If you got to get on board for the NBA, it is so good. College basketball tipping off in 2 weeks. You got to get on board right here, man. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty. We are going to start the show today. I am burned out on this. I'll be honest with you. I did not want to talk about it. I have been texting with people even this morning about the Mountain West and Grand Canyon. And I came to a realization last night as I was watching the greatest basketball player that ever lived, Devin Booker. I'll say that every day on this show. I came to the realization I hate talking about expansion. I think it's bad for college athletics. I think I am worn out on it. And I understand why there is so much demand for expansion talk. Listen, you should be interested in it. Everybody in Phoenix, everybody at GCU, all of your great basketball fans, this is a huge story for you. It's a big moment in time. You should be interested in it. But I think most of us outside of the Mountain West, outside of the Pac-4 or whatever the hell they are now, I think a lot of us are just burned out on it. And so I come to you with this story to say, I'd like to thank Brett McMurphy for confirming our story again, that the Mountain West and Grand Canyon University are very seriously talking about a relationship. Now, as we broke first on this show, Grand Canyon already has been offered membership in the Pac-12, but the Pac-12 has kind of put the brakes on everything that they are doing expansion-wise. And frankly, I think Grand Canyon, and if you don't know GCU in Phoenix, they are one of the more savvy operators in small, what do you say? Small private, for-profit education. Grand Canyon started as a small university, and most people would have likened them to the University of Phoenix, and they are anything but that now today. Grand Canyon University is a behemoth. They are a faith-based institution that offers you a phenomenal education a phenomenal campus in a terrible neighborhood, frankly, but they have this gem of a basketball arena where major programs outside of Arizona State, because we know that Arizona State doesn't need, never mind, you get, if you're an Arizona State fan, you understand that ASU did not want to play Grand Canyon for the longest time, but here nor there. My point is Grand Canyon's a great university and a phenomenal athletic department that now is playing very high-level basketball. A couple of things you also need to understand. Grand Canyon's on their way to the WCC, who just lost Gonzaga. Is it too late? I am told it is not too late for Grand Canyon to back out of or not officially join the WCC and join the Mountain West, which is, I think, likely to happen. Grand Canyon, I think, has aspirations of playing at the highest level of college basketball. And if you go into the Mountain West Conference, I think you're going to have a seat at the NCAA tournament table every single year. And I think that this is, while you may not view Grand Canyon as a massive story, I would tell you it has long, far-reaching implications. If Grand Canyon leaves that league, and they are, I think the WAC is in real trouble here. Because if you are the WCC, are you just going to stand by? Because you're probably losing, according to my sources, St. Mary's, who's going to end up with Gonzaga in the Pac-12. Are you just going to stand by and let your two best basketball brands and a potential third really good basketball brand at GCU walk out the door and not add anybody? Well, of course you're not. And you're probably looking at the WAC to backfill those spots. I think the WAC's days are very numbered. And this is what we're talking about when it comes to college expansion. When we look at these conferences that are adding and subtracting and really consuming other conferences, these conferences are going to die. Their stars are out of light. And unfortunately, the Pac-12 is where all this started. And the Pac-12 is going to get blamed for this. But I also think it's really important to point out, what else would you have the Pac-12 do? The Pac-12 is not just going to disappear. Do we like that the Pac-12 tried to murk the Mountain West Conference, tried to extinguish the light in the Mountain West? I don't at all. I thought it was a Bush League move, but I understand it. They're trying to survive. Now this move with GCU, the Mountain West, it can no longer have a conscience. The Mountain West, in my opinion, has to aggressively attack expansion. And Jake, I think GCU is the exact right target for the Mountain West Conference.
Absolutely. And I think that GCU, obviously, as you've just laid out, is a school and an institution that is coveted, and I think there's no getting away from the concept that, the Pac-12 has offered GCU. GCU hasn't accepted that offer yet. The Mountain West and GCU clearly are down the road. So I think this dynamic of the Mountain West coming out here into the market and getting schools that potentially would be fits in the Pac-12 could potentially be damaging to the Pac-12 down the road. But I think to your point about the Pac-12, I do think there's resentment towards the Pac-12. We're only here because you guys did a really terrible job managing your conference. And I don't mean just now in this whole expansion portion. I mean, before. We wouldn't even be here if USC felt valued in the old Pac-12. If the Pac-12 had been run better, if the Pac-12 had made more money, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And I think that's what's difficult about college football and college athletics when it comes to expansion, is it often requires somebody, either losing or no longer being in business, or a conference melting down for expansion or realignment to take place. And that's what's difficult. And we as, commentators and followers of the sport and fans, obviously, are tasked with this concept of, well, who are we supposed to feel bad for? Who are we supposed to root for here? Who are we supposed to empathize with? Well, clearly in this scenario, we're empathizing with the Mountain West based on how the Pac-12 went about it. But I would agree, the Mountain West definitely shouldn't have a conscience. The Mountain West shouldn't feel bad about going after GCU or going after any of these other schools that would be potential fits in the Pac-12, because the Mountain West has to secure its future. And And I think we're well past the times of, hey, well, the Mountain West and the Pac-12 or any other conferences should work together. I think you should only work together if the business dealings make sense, which is why the SEC and the Big Ten are working together on some level. So I just think this concept, when people say, oh, well, the Mountain West needs to, hold off a little bit and let the Pac-12 kind of work through its TV deal. And I'm not for that. That to me is nonsense. I think the Mountain West should be out here doing exactly what it needs to do to survive and put itself in the best position moving forward. And I think GCU absolutely does that. They're a good fit. They're a non-football member. Revenue works, with GCU well. So I just think that the Mountain West, this puts them in if this were to officially get done, obviously, this would put them in a really strong position, especially on the heels of the conversation around getting Hawaii as a full share member to get to 8. And then where does the conference go from here? Because you guys remember what Gloria said, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever that was, at Basketball Media Day. Like, we're not done. Like, we need to go and kind of solidify and build out the bottom end of this conference, or however you want to characterize that. So I just think GCU makes a lot of sense. And it makes a lot of sense from the standpoint that the Pac-12 added Gonzaga, and this is kind of your answer to that if it were to get done.
Yeah, I think when you look at GCU and you look at the way that they've done business, I think they very much align with the Mountain West. And I think that I have a lot of respect for how Grand Canyon University has come through their growth process. And it's not easy. They've faced a lot of challenges. I think that going from a largely, online digital presence to a full-blown, their campus is spectacular. I think it's very difficult. We've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we know Grand Canyon well, and their campus is spectacular, from fast food restaurants to basketball arenas to an unbelievable baseball footprint. All of their sports are well administered. It just makes sense. They're a good partner. And you look at now the fact that they're a perennial tournament team with Drew, and I just think it makes all the sense in the world for these two to get together. Now, as far as the Pac-12 goes, I think it is going to be this is going to be a very challenging situation for the Pac-12, because in talking to people over the last 24 to 36 hours about this, the Pac-12 is very much in a no-win situation, because you're looking at the Mountain West being very aggressive in expansion. And Brett McMurphy yesterday, the tweet that he put out, I mean, pretty much word for word reports what we have been telling you, that Grand Canyon is in talks with the Mountain West, and that Grand Canyon is also out to NIU and Toledo, which we broke on this show, for football membership only. So the numbers add up. And the question is, what is the Pac-12's capability right now? I think they're in a very difficult spot, because if you're the Mountain West and you can get this GCU deal over the line, which I'm told is closer than most of us realize, if that in fact happens, you're just stacking wins now. If you're the Mountain West, the Hawaii membership, I think, was vital. You had to bite the bullet on Hawaii. It was not an overwhelming win. It was not a game changer, in my opinion, but you had to do that. Adding GCU as a basketball only to this league is overwhelmingly a win.
And I think that, if they were to add, NIU and Toledo's football only members, I'm just telling you guys, that's taking options away from the Pac-12. Like, at some point, like, the Pac-12 is either going to have to substantially up its value proposition so that they can attract better members, right? They can attract those AAC schools that we've talked so much about, let's say, or other schools on that level. Because what the Pac-12 can't have is a TV deal that's underwhelming, and then try to take that to the market and not be able to add anybody and just be sitting here on an island. And I think there's some risk there. There's some exposure there for sure, because again, if the Mountain West adds GCU, adds NIU, and adds Toledo, they're probably done at that point adding members, but they've also just taken away several options for you in the Pac-12. And I think that's what's difficult about this in the Pac-12 situation, is that they are kind of in that chicken or egg scenario where, hey, do we go out and try to find membership first and then try to do the media rights deal? Or do we do the media rights deal and then add membership off of that and take the risk of the Mountain West adding these members before we can get our media rights stuff done? Or is their relationship strong enough with their media rights partners where they can have a handshake agreement that says, hey, this would be the deal if you went out and got, Memphis, let's say, as we've talked about so much, which most people don't think will happen, but this is an example. Hey, this would be the deal if you added this school or that school. If that's the case, I think that's best case scenario for the Pac-12. But I just feel like the Mountain West right now has a lot of momentum, and the Pac-12 is kind of sitting here behind the scenes trying to get this media rights deal done. And it kind of, to me anyway, feels like the Pac-12 is like, has one hand tied behind their back as far as expansion is concerned right now because of the media rights portion, which is unfortunate for them.
Yeah, and I think if the WAC loses, man, I feel bad for the WAC. I feel that this is, and again, I'm not trying to vilify the Pac-12, but this is the domino effect of trying to gut the Mountain West. And I understand why the Pac did it. It was an existential crisis. You couldn't get a merger done. I totally understand it. The WAC is going to pay the price for this. And I think it's just really unfortunate because I think you're probably going to lose. Tarleton. My guess is you would lose Cal Baptist at some point. And it's really unfortunate because you've just kind of put together this group of schools that are all, trying to build something and move together. And now expansion comes and guts you. And it's really unfortunate that this is where we find ourselves. And this is what wears me out about it. And again, I think if you're the Pac-12, I understand why you're trying to formalize a media rights template. Totally get it. I don't understand why you took the path that you took in that you tried to put a kill shot on the Mountain West. That to me that's where all this happened. And I think the Mountain West, I don't know, is it correct to say that the Pac-12 underestimated the Mountain West? I think it probably is. Is it correct to say that the Pac-12 disrespected the Mountain West? Unquestionably.
Yes.
But I don't know how you fix it. I truly don't know how you fix it.
Well, I think it's either that they underestimated the Mountain West, which I would agree they probably didn't do that. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Or you said, okay, well, this is our only path to existence, and we're just going to have to take this one on the chin as far as the Mountain West is concerned. Like, we're going to have to go this route, and we're going to have to take these teams, and we'll have to deal with the consequences of that decision. But it is our only decision, and I think that's what's difficult is that you look at the Pac-2 at that time with Oregon State and Washington State, and their dilemma was more time-based than anything. They couldn't get a scheduling agreement done, so they had to figure out what they were going to do for 25, 26, which is still, there was a lot of news yesterday about this whole home and home series that Washington State and Oregon State put together, and so they're still ironing that out. But I think they went ahead and made that decision because they were probably a little bit panicked. They were probably saying, hey, we don't really have much,
understandably so.
Yeah, we don't really have anywhere to go here. The scheduling, agreement that we were supposed to have with the Mountain West didn't pan out. That didn't come to fruition. And so we're going to have to go ahead and make this move. And we're going to make this move damn well knowing that it's going to trickle down into the WAC or into, these other conferences. So, the Pac-12 is responsible for it. But again, I'm going to keep making the point that I always make when we talk about expansion. At some point at the university level, the longer your fate is in control by someone else, the worse off you are. So if the WAC or any school in the WAC has to change conferences or that conference dissolves, part of that is the WAC's responsibility because they are not in a place where they're financially secure enough to say, yeah, actually Tarleton's not going here or this school's not going there because we have a great value here. And that's what's difficult about the lower end of college athletics.
And you look at Oregon State's football schedule for next year, this is rough. This is rough. Cal, Fresno State, Texas Tech on the road, at Oregon, Houston. Okay, great. That's a great 5-game start, right? That's Appy State, bye week, Lafayette, Wake Forest, Washington State, first time, Sam Houston at Tulsa, bye week. They have 2 bye weeks. And then 2 games with Washington State.
Right.
That's a tough schedule. How do you make an argument you should be in the college football playoff with that schedule? You can't. But you couldn't schedule with the Mountain West, and you're not in a place now where you're going to be able to build a schedule on short notice.
Yeah,
that's why I think you watched.
Yeah.
When the relationship between the two couldn't be formalized, the Mountain West and the Pac-12, you wind up with a football schedule like that. And if you're Oregon State and Washington State, you're hoping that's 1 year, and that's, I think, what you've built here. But now you're kind of in limbo because you added Gonzaga, which is unequivocally a win. I mean, there's just no question. Gonzaga to the Pac-12 is a win.
Gonzaga.
Right? That's a great pickup for the Pac-12. Now you've got to formalize a TV agreement, and you've got to finish expansion so that you can build quality schedules, and you can put yourself in a place where you can say, hey, we're the best G6 conference out there. Our league should get the first nod when it comes to conference champions, because that's really what we're fighting for the next 2 years, right? And your biggest problem is year one of your new conference, you're not going to be able to make that argument.
Right.
So maybe all this goes for naught if a Super League shows up in 2031. I don't know. But I think significant changes will come to the college football playoff after year one. I don't even think anybody doubts that.
Well,
so,
and I also wonder, too, from the player standpoint, like when you're looking, like in recruiting as an example, because recruiting obviously is a huge portion of success in football. So if you're a player looking at the Pac-12 and their current situation and their lack of ability to get in, how does that affect you? I mean, I obviously, schools like Boise State being able to get talents like Jinsey is great. That's awesome. They did a phenomenal job recruiting him and identifying him and being able to bring him in. But it does beg the question, like, obviously he's playing right now. Obviously he's not going to have to worry about any of these reimagined conferences and things of that nature. So I think that people want to just rubber stamp this as, oh yeah, they're going to put the conference back together. They'll be right back in the CFP conversation come next year, and everything will be amazing. And I just don't think anything is ever that easy in college football. It always takes, several years to get something done. It always takes, winning a lot to garner people's respect and garner people's willingness to just put you in there. So I think that also plays a big role. Like if you're the Pac-12 looking forward several years.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting to see how all this plays out. Let's get your comments in here on GCU moving closer and closer to joining the Mountain West. Again, just to recap it, as I told you, I think several weeks ago, the Pac-12 very much would like to add GCU, but I also think GCU recognizes the landscape a little bit, and I think the Mountain West is a better fit for GCU than the Pac-12 is. And I think it is, it's one of those things where we're going to have to figure out at what point do we make a determination who's a better league? That's the question that I would ask. And I think GCU and teams like Gonzaga or universities like Gonzaga and GCU and NIU and Toledo are going to make those decisions for us, really.
And the media rights deal that the Pac-12 puts together. I mean, I also think that's a big deal. I mean, if it's $8 million per school per year, that's not great. If it's $12 million, that's a different conversation. You know? So I think that's also, it's the mix of members you have along with how much money you're making. That to me is the combination, because the Mountain West, without a doubt, was the best G5, conference that we had until all of this went down. So at some point we are going to have to define which one's better.
And again, I think that's why the St. Mary's story is so significant. If St. Mary's joins the Pac-12 as a basketball only, which, just about everybody I talk to thinks is a fait accompli that's happening. I think if you get Gonzaga and St. Mary's, it only makes sense for GCU to wind up in the Mountain West. And I'll be fascinated to see what else the Mountain West, Gloria Navarez and her constituents there do, because I do think adding NIU and Toledo is a no-brainer.
Right.
A no-brainer if you are the Mountain West. But I don't think you're going to be able to compete for a Creighton, let's say, who would be in the Mountain West footprint in the Midwest. You're not going to be able to compete for a Butler in Indiana. Like, I don't think you're building some kind of basketball juggernaut. And the problem is you lost San Diego State, obviously, who has been a really solid basketball program in recent years.
Yep.
So it'll just be interesting to see how these leagues form and then what their brands are. Because I don't think there's any question. Football, right now today, the Pac-12, depending on who else they add, Pac-12's in a really good spot football-wise, because you added Boise. That on its own, to me, says, hey, everything's good. And I think when you look at the Mountain West, keeping UNLV was such a critical win for them. I think you have strengths and weaknesses on both sides. And I think adding GCU addresses a major basketball weakness and brings you a squad that goes to the NCAA tournament every year, recruits internationally very well. They have a really well-funded program that recruits globally. Like, that is an unequivocal win for the Mountain West if they can get GCU on paper. That would be significant. Let's see. Who was first in today? Let's go all the way back to the top. Hang on. Jay Chapman, first. Like, we're still doing that. Yeah, I miss the days where this was just a small little cottage show.
Yeah.
In Jake's basement.
Yeah.
Or was it in my mom's basement? I don't remember.
Right.
Anyway, when we used to have a studio in the basement and it was first in. Oh, I miss.
Yeah, there was a competition and stuff.
Yeah, Loner Phone, who apparently, now this is controversial. Loner Phone essentially got himself excommunicated on the show by being a jackwagon.
Right.
And now today he rejoins the membership. iOS system like iPad and iPhone cannot subscribe on Monty's show. Had to use my computer. I thought Monty banned me.
Oh, so let me get this right. So all those times when you said I was ignoring you and we banned you and we hated on you, only to figure out that we were right, that you have to use a desktop to join membership.
Well, I think it's in the $sign. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a member of my own channel. I don't have enough hours in the day to do that. But what I would tell you is, I think most people have told me you can join by hitting the $sign. True, false, I have no idea. Loner Phone, welcome back into the fold.
Nice job, dude.
Don't be an asshat. Lopes fan Gabe, like button, y'all, and others still interested in watching the beating of the dead horse that is never-ending conference expansion. Dude, 100%. It wears me out. And while I'm thrilled that it pretty much, it's built into our brand now, because we usually have the lead on expansion stuff, I'm done. I'm so worn out with it. Welcome to the nightmare. Hello. Big game in Orlando this week. Maury Alvarez, our great Floridian. Look at Florida showing up today. On my way to cast my vote for president. I am going to vote for a guy named Tim. Thank you. Write me in. Don't.
Monty?
Please don't.
What if we just put Marty for president as the writing candidate?
Please don't. I would not. Would you want to be president?
No.
I don't know that
I
I would take the job in honor. You don't want me as president. I mean, everybody would have free Impossible nuggets and health insurance, and what would I be? I think I'd be a Marxist, a socialist, a communist,
A fascist.
a fascist. No,
Yeah.
a fascist.
A fascist, yeah.
I would never answer the questions that were asked of me directly. I would spin and talk about flowers growing in the backyard.
And it'd be an SEC administration.
Exactly
obviously.
right. This
Yeah.
is because this is an ACC show. So main event. Hello, John Dry. Hello, Bronny James, master
Here we
bricklayer.
go. Here we go.
GCU and the Mountain West are only talking. Yeah, I don't know about that. I am sure that Lopes won't make any decision without talking to the Pac-8. Well, there is also history I was reminded of, that there was a time where the Pac-12 would not schedule GCU.
Yeah.
And the was the coach of the, I said,
Majorly. See what he did there?
so we used to do the Dan Marley show when he would win games and show up, because if they lost, that motherfucker never showing up. He just a phone dead.
It didn't work that day,
Phone
man.
dead. I mean,
Trust
trust me when I say. And I can only tell you what our sources in the situation have told us, that this is not a new conversation. And I think I was looking last night, and I think it was the second week of September was the first reference that we made to substantive conversations between the Mountain West and GCU. And it's been kind of a flirtation with GCU joining a different conference. I'm not going to say they were out for bid, but when they were talking to the WCC, they had other conversations. The question has been all sports or just basketball. I think if GCU had their way, they would probably want to do just basketball first.
Right.
I think if they are a basketball only member and they keep their other sports in the WCC, because I think most people see the writing on the wall with a whack, with the WCC and the Mountain West, it's the right thing to do, in my opinion, because I know nobody cares about anything other than basketball and football, but GCU competes across the board. Their baseball program has been Andy Stankiewicz, what he built there originally. And
Stud.
I mean, they've been really good. GCU is a really good athletic department, and they've had to fight. They have lawsuits that they're dealing with that frankly are not about the university. I was reading last night about two students filed a lawsuit against GCU's academic facilitator, if you will. And essentially their arguments were invalidated by the court. But it is what everybody talks about. Well, are they legitimate? GCU is a legitimate university that is actually a really good educational institution and infrastructure. The thing that I always tell people is, you can read headlines or you can get on the ground and talk to people. And when you talk to people and when you understand the culture at GCU and you understand the athletics at GCU and you understand that their vision is not a small footprint in Phoenix, you understand why everybody wants GCU to be a partner of theirs. They're great business people.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Because it's light years better basketball conference and it's not even close. I would not agree with that. I think doing business with the Pac-12 is a cautionary tale. You have history that tells you, because again, with all due respect, and I'm not even going to call people out by name, the people running the Pac-12 are the same people who've always run the Pac-12. And until you get on board with that, and just go back to Larry Scott. What did they do any different under Larry Scott that they just did to the Mountain West?
Nothing.
You still don't have a TV deal. And it was spelled out to me very succinctly several weeks ago, and I think I even talked about this on this show. From the day that Larry Scott and that conference were formed to today, the Pac-12 has done one thing exceptionally well. spit shine their turd, as it was put to me. Because what are they always selling? They're always selling a dream. They've never been able to have a fully formed, fully functioning media rights, distribution, anything. The Pac-12 network never did it physically and actually launch. Yes, it did. Did that kid ever move out of his mom's house?
Nope.
No, it did not, because it never had full distribution. And they had great talent and great equipment and great technology and really bad leadership.
Yep.
So they've always been spit shining a turd.
So,
And they're always selling a dream.
which is exactly what they're doing now.
That's all they're doing now. So until they get a fully formed, fully functioning media rights deal, they have this unbelievable broadcast facility, production facility in San Ramon that's top of the line, everything.
And I would point out, you have some of the best real estate in the country.
Yes.
Like the
And
West
you have-
Coast is pristine.
In any way you argue it, for a G6 conference, they have some really good brands. San Diego State's a good brand. Not great, not elite at anything, but a good brand. Boise State is a good football brand. But the idea that somehow the Pac-12 is this unbelievable basketball conference is not the case. You want to say that about football? Absolutely. It's a really solid football product. Washington State, Oregon State, Boise State, those three together make a really solid G5 football conference. Throw in whoever else you want. That's a really solid conference. But it's not some elite basketball product. It just is not. So, as you were, Eric and Raleigh, if you ain't SEC or Big 32, you ain't real. There's something to that, because they're the ones making the decisions. Charles W., that's not winning, and I am in Phoenix. What's not winning? Payson Cougar fan, hello. Expansion is really tough on my waistline. I will say I have not put on the Callaway quarter zip in, what is this, the 10th month, probably in 8 months. Fits a lot better than it used to. So contraction's doing me well. Loner phone, take the blue pill. She will love the expansion. Okay. On brand. Habitual muffin. Okay. GCU has not been offered membership in the Pac-12. Okay.
First of all, I've never heard of you, and somehow you're a member.
I've never heard of you.
Okay.
I can only tell you so many times. GCU was offered, and how do I put this? I was told the conversation that was had was, we'd like you to join our conference. And GCU hesitated because there's not a media rights deal.
Yeah, there's not long-term security.
Is that, hey, here's a contract, come join the Pac-12? Probably not. But is that, hey, we'd really like to add you as a basketball brand to our conference? And what's it going to take to get that done? Yes. I believe that's what happened.
Yeah.
I believe that's what happened. That's exactly what happened with Gonzaga in the Big 12. No, and you guys all told me I was wrong. There was none. How many people now have reported it? Exactly as we told you. So, Mr. Habitual, stay la vie, my guy.
Knock yourself out.
Live your best life. The Marty program presented by Faith-Based Grand Canyon University. Exactly.
God bless.
Charles says, what? I live in Phoenix, and GCU is facing multiple lawsuits that include a federal trade commission. What he's talking about is, and I can't remember the exact verbiage on it. I want to say it's like a racketeering lawsuit or something. 2 students filed a lawsuit against GCU. Allegations in class action lawsuit against GCU. The 2 students filed a class action lawsuit against its educational service provider, known as Grand Canyon Education, which is different because most people don't know the business setup there. I know it. Grand Canyon Education is different than Grand Canyon University. They're two different entities. The lawsuit almost verbatim regurgitates the same claim the U.S. Department of Education made and the Federal Trade Commission later repeated, which is what you're referencing, about GCU's doctoral program while coordinating their efforts to disparage GCU. And then this goes on to state that the original lawsuit filed by the Justice Department and the Federal Trade Commission was invalidated by courts, who said actually that's not the case. So this is essentially the lawsuit that is being referenced here, because I had an idea that would come up. The lawsuit that's being referenced here is almost word for word a refiling of a lawsuit from, I think, 6 years ago that was totally invalidated by the courts. So am I that concerned about it? I'm not. And it's not my business, so I really don't care. It's not Bronny James, master bricklayer, Mountain West basketball is below mid. Okay, but that's your opinion. They also have a media rights deal, so they're more attractive. And if you add GCU to that league, their basketball is not below mid.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Loaner phone. Pitt picked up a new aide. Cool. Cool. Win tonight. Bronny master bricklayer. St. Mary's programs outside of basketball are garbage. Who cares? What does that have to? This is why I don't understand what people do. Why do we care about GCU track and field?
And why are you hating on the Mountain West so much, dude? What is the
like rub here?
What we're talking about? We're talking about them adding GCU and the implications of that, and all you want to do is say the Mountain West sucks. Like, what's the mission? What's the point? To say the Mountain West sucks? Okay, cool. You proved your point.
I don't understand why people. And listen, we see this all the time with Pac-12 fan. What I'm asking you is, why is it so personal to you? Why is it so personal to you? You think the University of San Francisco has some media market potential? I actually don't. The Dons are a great brand, but they are a very small player in San Francisco. There's not a. If we were talking about media market potential, does USF present you the Bay Area? No. Does it present you the city of San Francisco? Not really. Because it's a small university, which in the WCC, they're a great fit. But I don't think that if I look at the slate of teams in the WCC, am I chasing Pepperdine? Isn't Pepperdine a better brand than USF? I would guess, but I think that we would all very much. I think we would all very much like every university to do fine athletically.
Yeah,
that's not the case. That's not like, again, I look at the WAC. I think the WAC is in real peril. Yeah, I don't think the WAC is going to exist.
Yeah, I think that's accurate, and I also think we need to accept the fact that not every university wants to do athletics. Not every university is like, oh man, we got to line item 20% of this year's budgets for athletic. Like, most schools aren't doing that, man. Like, most schools are like, oh yeah, we have athletics, but you're really coming here to do this educationally. Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah, and I think if you don't have long sustained success, such as, I don't know, Gonzaga. Does Gonzaga deliver Spokane? Yeah, that's cool. But is Spokane? Are you like, well, goddamn, Spokane? You're not. But they make you money. They have a rabid fan base. They have history. So you get it. If you're USF, you're going to have to. You're going to have to really get. I don't know that you want to join the Mountain West or the Pac-12, in my opinion.
I don't think any team on the East Coast is viable for those two conferences. There's just not enough money there.
Yeah. Charles, I worked at GCU. Please tell me how innocent they are. Nobody said they were innocent. See, it's personal for you.
Yeah.
It's not personal for me.
And again, just want to point this out. Apparently today's theme is members we've never heard of.
Yeah, I don't know who you are, man, but which is fine.
Which is cool. I just think that you're coming in here and like you're trying to die on this hill, and it's like, okay, cool for you. That's the issue. Fine, great. Your point's been made. We're
you
not
don't
really
like GCU.
concerned. Yeah, like
it's not a like or hate thing for me. It's an analytical thing. I happen to know that they're a really good athletic department, and I happen to I know the people who operate that university. I've been exposed to them. I know them as business people. I don't know them personally, or because it's never personal to me. It's business. GCU is a great partner. I think Gloria Nevarez and GCU, that makes total sense to me. Those people operate on the same level.
Yep.
In my opinion. Harry Austin for $5. Hello, Harry. How's San Antonio treating you? How many times have we said the WAC is dead? A lot.
Yeah, a lot, dude.
A lot. And they are still around. The WAC will never die.
Well,
I hope you're right.
My concern, though, is that, and it stems from the Pac-12 point I was making earlier. Like, you know, the WAC has survived by hey, we lost this. We're going to go to the next one. We're going to backfill. They've been really
adding.
Good. Yes.
We're going to take Dixie State and we're going to make them, you know.
But I think you're running out of options here. I think that consolidation has now knocked on your front door
100%.
And you don't have a lot of options left. And I think that's really sad because it's to no fault of the WAC's, doing. Like, they didn't do anything to put this on themselves. But it's just a reality of the situation.
Yeah. The Chad Carter. Hello. Why do you guys have such a hard-on for the Mountain West?
Stay hard.
I thought this was an SEC, Ohio State, Big 12, Notre Dame, Chicago Bears show. Well.
Wow.
I think the Mountain West versus the Pac-12 is very compelling. I just want it to be over.
I think that, and Chad, your point's well made, dude. People take this stuff so personally. Like, if you go and look at, like, obviously we can see it. You guys can't see it at the level we can, but the comment section on our channel during the day, like when we're not doing the show, just like after the show, is just loaded with people who are just so mad about, like, the Mountain West and the Pac-12. And
it started with, well, I guess 2 years ago now, Oregon State fan burning their diplomas on our show.
Yeah.
And Washington State fan, we broke a story about that there was a faculty sit-in at Washington State over the lack of responsibility when it came to the athletic checkbook. And Washington State fan lost their ever-loving mind.
Yeah.
And told us we are liars and that's not and then the story broke nationally 2 days later. And Washington State fan blamed us for it. We'll go talk to Kirk Schultz. It's not we don't hate Washington State.
But my point is that I think that people, when you ask, hey, what's our hard on for the Mountain West? I'm not a Mountain West fan, and I say this seemingly every time we talk about it. But the issue is that Pac-12 fan takes it so personally anytime you bring up facts about how the Mountain West currently is in a better spot. Because what Pac-12 fan does is they say, oh, well, we got these great brands. Yeah, but we're not disagreeing about the brands you have. We're disagreeing about the fact that you don't have a media rights deal currently. We're disagreeing about the fact that you're running out of options in expansion because it's taking too much time to get the rights deal done. And
a buddy of mine texting me saying, your job is not to be emotional, Monty. Your job is to be analytical. That's why fans are fans. And
yeah, that's true.
I appreciate so much that you guys get emotional in our comment section.
Facts.
I would expect you to. You're fans. I have the luxury of my team sucks all the time. Like Notre Dame's terrible every day. So I don't have to get, even though Jesus is a Notre Dame fan, we don't win anything.
Notre Dame, our mother.
And I just don't have to get my hopes up. Although I'll share a quick story with you after I celebrate Calford giving us 20 Monty Show memberships.
He's back.
Good to see you, my guy. Appreciate your gift to the show. I did something yesterday that I thought I would never do, which is I bought Chicago Cubs season tickets, like full-on Wrigley Field season tickets.
Nice, dude.
That's my fandom. That's where, like, you can say, oh, you're emotional. Yes, I'm emotional about what a crappy owner the Cubs have.
And by
so
the
now
way,
I'm putting money in his pocket.
I always like to bring this up because I when it happened, I was shocked that your reaction to them winning a World Series in 2016 was crazy. Like unemotional, like sitting there just.
Yeah, it was when we lived in Mesa, when the Cubs won the World Series, I was stunned. It's not something a Cub fan ever thinks is going to happen. And I'm not convinced that it did happen.
It was like a dream.
You know. Chewy Gonzalez. What about all that talk of Sac State joining the Pac-12? I think Sac State Sac State has done everything they can do to be the panic button for the Pac-12. I think that Sac State has made, again, people I know, I'm very familiar with the people at Sac State because of my time in Sacramento. They've made massive financial and emotional investments in their athletic department, facilities, infrastructure, humanity, across the board. They are ready to compete at a G5 level. They want that to be the Pac-12. And why wouldn't they? Sacramento is a great market.
Yeah. And by the way, all the fundraising they're doing, the community clearly supports it.
And my point is, this is the Pac-12's problem now. Because the Pac-12's like, I appreciate you guys have done all this, but if you could shut the hell up, that'd be great. That's what it feels like.
Right.
And so my question is, and what I've said today, I think this is a really good point, Chewy. You're focused on a media rights deal in the Pac-12. Meanwhile, GCU, Northern Illinois, Toledo, not that Northern Illinois and Toledo have any interest at all from the Pac-12. Pac-12 has no interest there, and I totally understand that. But you're watching your main competitor grow. Because the fact is, the AAC is not a competitor to the Pac-12. The Pac-12's main competitor right now is the Mountain West. They're neighbors. They don't like each other, and they are competing for brands.
Yeah.
And while you're trying to figure out your media rights deal, the Mountain West is solidifying their media rights position because they have a deal already, and they're just stacking on top of that deal now to go back and say, okay, hey, here's who we are. This is what we have. Let's do a new deal. Because I from what I'm told, Gloria Nevarez, and I forgot about this story yesterday. Gloria Nevarez talks to her TV contacts regularly. We've told you that for several years.
Right.
There was an interesting little nugget, and I can't remember who needled me over this or told me how stupid I was, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And this is a Pac-12, like the regular frustrated fan.
Yeah.
Did you guys see what Tony Petitti? And then, so 2 weeks ago, Tony Petitti said it. And then did you guys see what Brett Yormark said at Big 12 Basketball Media Day? That he and Petitti and Sankey talk weekly. They have a call set up every week. Who told you that? I think 6-8 months ago now.
Yeah.
They have a call every week on their calendars. And from what I'm told, they don't miss that call. They talk all the time. So this idea that they're enemies and it's a blood sport, and it's just not the case.
Yeah, I think that what people don't want to understand is there's an ecosystem here.
Yes.
There's a
very
totem
much
pole.
so.
And the Big 12, as frustrating as it is for me to watch this year in football specifically, because I think they've been underwhelming this year in football. The Big 12 knows its position and knows who they are and where they're trying to go and what they need to do to remain in good standing with the big boys. And this has been my main point with the ACC over the last 2 seasons with all this Florida State stuff and all the stuff we've seen go down. The Big 12 has just been consistent, right? And I don't care what you think of the Big 12 and the teams that play in it. The Big 12, in my opinion, is clearly has a better, working relationship with the SEC and the Big 10 and understands, okay, hey, we may not be getting 4 into the college football playoff, but if we can have a partnership and we can get 2 into the college football playoff, and then when the Super League shows up, we can work together to create more money collectively for the group. That's what Brett Yormark is trying to build. And I think one thing that flew under the radar this past year in basketball was the SEC improved a ton. Had a great year in basketball. Led the tournament and teams put
guys in the draft.
Put guys in the draft. So like you're seeing, hey, weekly call came out that Big 12 and these guys have a weekly call. Football's on the same page. Now basketball's on the same page. Like they're working together to push the thing forward.
Yeah, totally agree. Jay Chapman, how the hell do people confuse this show for an SEC homer show?
I don't know. I have no idea because we don't talk SEC every single day, and yet people still say we're an SEC show, which I don't understand.
Because I think that recently started because I defended Kalen DeBoer at Alabama and talked about how difficult it is to replace Nick Saban at the beginning of the season when we had that conversation, and people. Yeah, it's crazy to me, the accusations thrown out. Amazing. Jeremiah Sullivan champion. Hello, we get it. You hate GCU. No one cares. No one cares. Jimmy Otson, Theo Epstein is a witch. I miss
for real.
I do. I had, and my wife was really excited about Cubs season tickets because we have season tickets at spring training.
Mm-hmm.
So when we bought those tickets, we were put on the waiting list for full share regular season tickets. And I've always said the only way that I will buy Cubs season tickets is if I get bleacher seats. And you cannot buy a half season package in the bleachers at Wrigley Field. You have to go full on the whole season.
Why is it that you wanted bleacher? What was the?
Because that's where I grew up.
Okay.
I might have sat in regular seats at Wrigley Field half a dozen times in my entire life. I think I've probably been to, it's got to be 1,000 Cubs games, hundreds at a minimum. If I had to guess an accurate number of how many Cubs games I've been to in my life, probably close to 500, 600. And almost all of that is in the bleachers. I think maybe half a dozen times. I have vivid memories of being carried in as a young boy into Wrigley Field. You guys will think I'm insane. I'm not. I have vivid memories as a young boy, maybe a toddler, 2, 3 maybe, of sitting on my mom's lap on the right field line behind the first base dugout. I remember that. Eric Davis from the Cincinnati Reds was one of my favorite players as a kid. I vividly remember my brother taking me to a Cubs game to see Eric Davis. And I had to be sub 10 years old at that point. Sitting in the upper deck and watching Sean Dunston. And it's funny, Sean Dunston was a coach of the Giants when I worked in San Francisco, and we talked about this play. He remembers it. Eric Davis and the Reds had the winning runs on base. With one out, Eric Davis hit a little blooper over Sean Dunston at shortstop. Dunston made a catch with his left hand, spun and threw a rocket to Leon Durham at first base. Double play, game over. And I just remember I was ecstatic. It's one of the greatest memories I have as a baseball fan or a sports fan. Watching Demba Ba run down the field at Liverpool at Anfield. Jake and I were at a Liverpool-Chelsea game, and he won the match for Chelsea.
On someone else's dime.
On somebody else. Good old Wayne Scholes, who's a huge Liverpool, but he's a box holder at Liverpool. Gave us tickets, so we went to the Chelsea match. That play with Sean Dunston against the Reds. And then I have thousands of memories it being in the bleachers. Jake and I were on 2016 was one of my most special memories. We went to Wrigley Field for the Giants Cubs in the playoffs, and we got on TV during the national anthem. And all my friends put it on Facebook. Like, it was amazing. Like, that's what sports is to me.
Yeah.
And I hate the owners of the Cubs, and yet I still am willing to spend money on season tickets.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to wind up. The only other seats I would sit in besides the bleachers are down the right and left field line. They're called terrace box seats. That's probably where I'll end up.
Yeah.
because I don't want to buy a full share. I
You
can't go
would-
back enough.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you wouldn't buy seats behind the net down the
Never.
line. You want to be on the club level.
Never. No, I'll probably be behind, because doesn't the net go all the way down
It goes
the line?
all the way down the line now.
Yeah, but they can hit balls over that net.
Yes.
So I would never buy seats behind home plate, behind the dugouts, down by where the old bullpens were. That's not baseball to me. The nets, if you're worried about getting hit with a line drive, you shouldn't sit there. And I understand it. I know why they did it. I totally get it. I'm an asshole. I get it. I totally get it. I'm not the guy who's going to sit there. One, I don't want to pay that much. That's like $8,000 a year.
That's a lot.
I'm not doing that. But yeah, so I'm and it'll be official like early November.
Nice.
But I'm really excited about it. I'll go back, like the San Diego Padres are opening day. And I'll wind up going back by myself because my wife is going to be in Hawaii for a triathlon. I would rather go to Hawaii with my wife, but I wasn't invited. So I'm kidding. Don't lose your mind, please. We've had enough turbulence. I will wind up going back to Chicago, probably by myself to opening day for the Padres and Cubs. And I'm stoked about it. I cannot wait. And the games you get, I think the Boston Red Sox are on the schedule this year. Like I'm stoked about it.
Oh, yeah.
I am super excited about it. Stay downtown at the old Hyatt Regency.
Get yourself some Super Dog.
That's being a fan. That's what I'm emotional about. I don't give a rat's ass if the Pac-12 survives or not, or if the Mountain West survives or not. I'm an analyst on that stuff. So there you have it. Welcome to the Nightmare, who's been a member for 14 months.
Nice job.
Can we get the I win Google me added to the list of sound bites for when Monty talks about Prize Picks? It's so fitting.
Yes, I will get that done for you guys.
All right. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show, presented by Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy app. Download the Prize Picks app.
Yeah.
I am so glad NBA is back on Prize Picks.
By the way, were you not excited about Zach LaVine's performance last night?
Can you shut up? We don't talk about the Bulls on this show.
What?
Okay, just shut your mouth.
What?
Shut up.
I thought he was sensational.
Nobody cares. Zach LaVine.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Thank you. Zach LaVine. You want to talk about emotional? The Chicago Bulls make me emotional. It is ridiculous to me. Watching that game last night, watching part of that game last night. Do you know how much I hate Patrick Williams? I mean, dude, there are L trains all over the city. No, I'm not going to say that. The lake is deep, Patrick. Go swimming. Like, I just get him out of Chicago. He is horrendous, which is why I have my cuddle buddy, Devin Booker.
Your cuddle buddy.
Hey, two holes.
Okay, I'll never say that again. Even for me.
No. Even for you, that was a new low.
That's too. Who are you, Justin Herbert? And I will do my laundry on Justin Herbert's abdominals. Devin Booker last night had a 24.5 point. In the NBA, I play points, rebounds, and assists on Prize Picks. His number was 24.5 last night. He had 25 because it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Donovan Mitchell last night, who had a 23.5 point number and came up with a 26 for the win, 2 for 2. And then we got really crazy with Steph Curry and the Warriors because I was sweating this game out. It was so windy last night. It was so loud outside last night. I did not sleep well at all. But Steph Curry on a 28.5 point number, which is massive in the NBA.
Yeah.
Points, rebounds, and assists. last night comes through with a 36 for me last night. 3 for 3, 70 doll hairs. I'm telling you guys, if you are not playing Prize Picks, you know how fantasy football changes the way you watch football? That's what it does for me in the NBA. It's why I love Prize Picks in the NBA. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty. You deposit $5 in a new Prize Picks account. They're going to give you 50 more. In NBA tonight, let me open my Prize Picks app again. NBA tonight, I think Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, Victor's the way.
Victor Wembanyama makes his maiden voyage into the season tonight. You want to talk about points, rebounds, and assists?
Huge number.
46 and a half.
Huge number.
Points, rebounds, and assists.
That's
a lot. He will have to score 28 to 30 points and get at least 10 rebounds. That's tough, dude.
Now it is Dallas. Dallas doesn't exactly have.
Yeah, but Dallas is going to defend him. And I think PJ Washington is going to be the one to defend him. And Luka Doncic.
Can I just point out Russell Westbrook's 3-pointers made line tonight is half.
So they don't think he can make one. I should single up for this. You probably need the piano music.
Okay, I gotcha. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
My name is Marty, and I need to make a confession. I'm only playing demons currently on Prize Picks, which means the number's much larger. Okay, you can turn the music off now. You guys, the number on Luka Doncic tonight for a demon is 54 and a half points, rebounds, and assists.
Massive. But it's his opening night, so just the points number is 30, so that makes sense.
Luka at 54 and a half or Victor Wembanyama at 46 and a half. I
would be going Luka, but
Luka on the easy is 44 and a half.
Yeah.
Victor on the easy is 34 and a half. But they pay you less on the easy ones, the goblins.
Yeah.
That's tough, dude.
Yeah, so here's my thought on tonight's Prize Picks. I think that there's a lot of, to mitigate your risk, you should do a three-pick flex play.
Yeah.
All goblins to basically guarantee that you'll win money tonight. And then you should have another one that is a little bit more risky that'll make you a lot of money if you hit it.
And then rushing, receiving touchdowns tonight in the NFL. Justin Jefferson, does he score a touchdown?
Yeah.
I think he does.
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp, does he score a touchdown? Now, remember, Cooper Kupp is playing to get traded. So if you're the Rammies, aren't you trying to get him a touchdown?
Yeah, you're trying to pump that value up.
And that's a demon for Cooper Kupp. I think you got to take that one. And the other one that I think is really interesting tonight is either Jordan Addison or Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, has Aaron Jones been good for... He's only got a touchdown in 2 of his last 5 games. Maybe I put together maybe I put that together with a 3-pointer made in the NBA, because there's some interesting ones. Al Horford on a demon is 2.5 3-pointers made.
I would go Harrison Barnes for 3.5 rebounds. That's a demon, and he's averaging 5 to 6 a game.
Jaylen Brown for 1.5 3-pointers, or his demon is 4 3-pointers. I don't know about that. I don't know, but there's some tough ones tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to think about that. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty. You deposit $5 in a new Prize Picks account. They'll give you 50 more instantly. You can play on that for the rest of the football season. And don't we have, I say it like I don't know. There's a huge football game tonight.
Edge.
Syracuse at Pitt, 6-0 Pitt. Is Pitt legit at 6-0? I think this is a real question because Pitt's 6 wins are Kent State, Cincinnati, Sorsby and company. That was that great 28-27 game.
Yeah.
West Virginia, Youngstown State, North Carolina, and Cal. And I feel like the West Virginia game was more about Neil Brown needs fired.
Yeah, I don't think I'd call Pitt legitimate. I think that they got to keep proving it week in and week out.
But Holstein's been really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been really good. Kyle McCord or Holstein. That's I think, because Eli Holstein for Pitt's actually a really good story.
Mm.
I mean, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on 14 or 15 or on 1,700 yards. That's pretty good, dude. And he's obviously he plays at Pitt, so not a lot of people are talking about him. Cat's completing 64% of his passes. I mean, 200 attempts and only 5 picks in college football. That's flipping really good.
Mm.
So my question is, how legit do we think Pitt is? Well, I guess that depends on how legit you think Kyle McCord and Syracuse are, because Syracuse puts up numbers. Like they put up, if you look at Syracuse 5-1, their loss was Stanford 26-24, which now seems like that's a dog of a loss, right? Holy Cross, UNLV, North Carolina State, Georgia Tech, and Ohio are Syracuse's wins. Who's more legit, Syracuse with Kyle McCord or Pitt with Eli Holstein?
Syracuse.
You're such an a-hole. Kyle McCord has thrown the ball. Oh, my God. I did not know this.
Yeah, you can't get away from it, dude.
He's got 282 attempts, which I think matters in college football. 2,160 yards, 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a rating of 147.9.
And what's the completion percentage?
66%.
It's not a conversation. He's a better quarterback. Now, I'm not here for, Ryan Day shouldn't have kicked him out of the program, Monty. He was not good at Ohio State. And part of that was the play calling, but part of that was Kyle McCord. Yeah. And now he's motivated and you see what he's doing.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. RJC, man, Mrs. Monty on the open market saying ain't so. She's going to Hawaii with her sister and her friend to do this triathlon for the 2nd year in a row. She's amazing. She is truly amazing. You're a homer for this or that, depending on which casual drop in and out throughout the program.
You're a homer is the first part.
You are. That's exactly right, dude. Dude. Yes. You've got some hot takes, but that and all the other regulars make it the best AM show. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Oh, God.
He's got no class.
Mayor McCluskey. Okay, can we talk about the Jazz real quick?
Hot ass.
So they hang on. Dude, what a valiant effort last night. They hung on to lose.
Hell of a victory, bro.
And that's a huge win for them because they lost.
Nice job.
They snatched the loss from the jaws of victory. And I'm telling you,
Bruh.
that you didn't put that in there?
I did. Yes, I did.
Oh, there it is.
It's right there.
Look at Jazz Nation is bought and paid for by the Utah Jazz. Look at this. Kind of disappointed with how many open seats I'm seeing tonight. Even seeing empty seats courtside. Home opener used to always be guaranteed sellout. What's going on? They suck. They're terrible.
Oh,
that's what's going on.
Dude. Just so rich. Just couldn't have said it better myself.
And I'm watching the game last night, and what are we looking at? Empty seats, premium seating. Where's Oak State James? CNS seating is empty.
Yeah, can I get a report from the IPF, bro?
We need to put an upper deck on the Delta Center so that we can sell more empty seats. People are not going to turn out for the Jazz because they're not going to be good. But what are you doing screwing around trying to win games last night?
Telling you, what did we say on the show yesterday, dude?
That Lauri Markkanen needs to develop knee soreness. He's out 6 to 8 weeks.
By the way, 35-9. Great game, Lauri. Great game. Hell of a game.
Listen, it's Lowry's the prime
Sorry,
rib.
my bad. Lowry. Great game. Hell of a player. It's not a Lowry issue. It is a Utah Jazz playing dude too much issue.
Now you can tell me the Jazz don't listen to the show. Anybody notice who started at the power forward last night?
Just saying.
Hey, look here, man.
See, I'm having fun right now.
Yeah.
The Jazz lost. They're doing what they should be doing. What did we decide on the Cooper flag thing?
I think the consensus was capture the flag was like the thing, but I'm still, my opinion is that what did Brandon Butler say? Like, get in the pooper for Cooper or something.
That's right. Get in the poop. You guys did a great job living in that pooper last night. Let me tell you something right now. Right. Get in the poop. Get in the pooper for Cooper, you punk.
Hugh Janus.
Nate Simons gifted 5 Monty Show memberships. Way to represent the best team in the Big 12. Nate, appreciate you. Good to see you, my friend. Chewy Gonzalez, Jazz playing like mud butt. Bro, and I am not kidding you. They did a really good job last night of losing this game by 2 points and making people think they tried to win and we want to win and we're doing everything we can. Look, I'm even starting Walker Kessler, who we're going to trade by the deadline.
Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
Calford will not be outdone.
Damn.
10 more Monty Show memberships.
Nice job, dude.
Let's go. RJC man, here we go. What do you mean, loaner phone? Go Balance. How long ago did the powers that be in Utah know they were getting an NHL team? Shouldn't they have a name by now?
It should or
they
shouldn't.
know. They know what it is. The problem is, no, I'm not playing your stupid game.
Yeah,
I'm not playing. You know what, Mr. Go Balance? I'm not playing your stupid little game. I'm not biting the hook. You are not setting the hook on this big mouth bass.
No.
I slept like awful last night. So I live in Salt Lake City, and it was really windy.
Yes, there was a cold front coming into the system, and now it's cold out.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It was really windy,
yeah.
And we have near my home, we have some neighbors. It is fall break because your kids already need a break from school. It's fall break, so the young 20-somethings and late teen years apparently require you to drive a Subaru with a bad muffler, play your music really loud, drop your friends off next door and yell and scream and make noise. And I'm over here trying to sleep. It was like 10:40 the other night. And they're just out there bumping music and And then last night, there's loud motorcycles. It's super windy. And it was one of those nights where I actually went to bed on time, right? I'm laying down at 9:30, like reading, watching a game on my phone, like I'm ready. We have the windows open, super windy. And you fall asleep and you wake up and you're like, oh, dude, what time is it? 9:32. It's one of those nights where you've been asleep for 2 minutes and it feels like 3 hours. I had the weirdest thing in the shower yesterday morning.
Whoa.
Now, of course, we're nude while we're in the shower.
Were you playing shower Olympics?
So I was not.
Okay.
I was not strengthening the forearms. But I was in the shower yesterday morning, and I get in the shower at 4:10 every morning, usually. I got in the shower, and I remember getting in the shower. Like, I have a glass shower, like an enclosure. You swing the door open like you get in the shower. I remember closing the door, and the last thing I remember in the shower is putting my face under the hot water. It's the first thing I always do. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to get out of the... I remember saying to you, all right, whatever. Get out of there. I remember squeegeeing the glass doors. I squeegee my glass doors every day. I get out of the shower. It's 4:58. Like, what? Because usually when I'm on time, I'm in my bathroom at 4:12 in the morning. I'm a little regimented. It's weird.
Yeah.
My alarm goes off at 4:10. I usually try to get right out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll lay there till like 4:20. But on the regular, I am shaving. I wear an Apple Watch every night. I take my watch off. I turn the water in the shower on, so I step into a hot shower. And then I turn the water on. I shave. I'm usually standing at the bathroom sink at 4:12. I'm usually in the shower by 4:15. And then I usually walk out of the shower at 4:31. I get out of the shower, and what I do is I dry off and I tap my phone screen. And it's usually 4:31.
Right.
Dude, it's the weirdest thing. I got out of the shower. I'm like standing there doing what I usually do. Get out of the shower, dry off my bits. Like, okay.
Here I am.
I'm about to put toothpaste on my toothbrush.
Right.
I start brushing my teeth and I tap my phone and it's 4:58. Where did that half 40 minutes go? It was the weirdest thing in the world, dude. I don't know if you guys have ever, I don't know if I got abducted by aliens and they went a little over time. I don't know what happened. You can go to Pound Town. Dude, maybe they went to Pound Town. I don't know. Whatever happened yesterday in the shower, that was the weirdest thing that I have ever experienced.
Seems like a great opportunity to slurp and splash.
I don't know if I nodded off. I don't know, but it just is like that 30 minutes is gone. It's the craziest thing.
That's wild, bro.
It is the craziest thing. Go balance. This conversation took an extreme turn. I'm sharing my life with you.
Yeah, you guys want behind the scenes content, you know.
Monty, cuddle buddy in the shower? No.
If you felt these balls.
Bench Caruso, Marty playing capture the flag in the shower. I mean, I didn't smell bad yesterday, so I'm sure I soaped it all up. I mean, my hair looked good yesterday. I'm sure I washed my hair and put product in it. But, you know, fat old Mormon and dying. Morty having senior moments this morning. I guess. I don't know. TMI, Marty. No,
we've all been through, got up early, went into zombie mode in the shower, and all of a sudden you got like 2 minutes to get to where you need to go.
That never happens to me. That never, it was just weird. Is Hopkins past his prime, or will he have a resurgence in Kansas City with Mahomes? Well, do tell, because yesterday all the chief hyenas and football hyenas came in here and were like, they don't want Cooper Kupp. They're not looking. Oh, well, guess what story came out yesterday?
Yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs tried to trade for Cooper Kupp, but didn't want to pay any of his contract. See, this is why I hate the Chiefs. Okay, let me get this right. You want Cooper Kupp, who I agree you should have tried to trade for Cooper Kupp. I said that on the show yesterday.
Yeah.
They apparently went to the Rams and said, we want Cooper Kupp, but you're going to pay him and you're going to give us a 5th rounder and we're going to give you a 3rd rounder. So they're going to pay you and give you a draft pick and you're going to give them a 3rd rounder. That because you're going to probably go to the Super Bowl, it's not going to be worth a 3rd round pick.
Right.
It'll be the last pick in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And I know, shocking, the Rams said, no, not doing it.
Right.
So the Chiefs pivoted to DeAndre Hopkins, who, again, I think DeAndre Hopkins is a good player. He's not going to help them win a Super. Well, I shouldn't say that. He's not the reason that they'll win a Super Bowl.
I think that I think it remains to be seen. I think we need to be really careful with how we word this. I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to have an impact in that offense. Absolutely. I think that they'll be able to use him in the slot. They will be able to manipulate defenses because he's out there. And I agree with what you said yesterday on the show, which is DeAndre Hopkins is an elite possession receiver. Hey, 5-8 yard route. You need a 1st down in a critical point in the game. You're probably going to DeAndre Hopkins.
In the red zone. Here's DeAndre Hopkins as a football player today. And I'd remind you, Who's older, DeAndre Hopkins or Cooper Kupp? They're the same age. The problem with Cooper Kupp is he's always hurt. DeAndre Hopkins, though, has taken a suspension for PEDs.
Yeah.
Has had major injuries, and he's got a lot more wear and tear on the tires, right? But what does he do really well? We're going to zone you because you have to play zone against the Chiefs. You cannot play man. Patrick Mahomes will eat you up. He is an elite red zone receiver because he finds space. He has the ability to do things that nobody else in Kansas City can do. I'm going to be running full speed and I'm going to stop on a dime in the soft part of the zone so that safety or linebacker is going to keep going and I'm going to be open. It is a skill. It is not a skill that you see often in the NFL. He is an elite zone scheme wide receiver. That's why he's a good fit. Will he be the reason they win the Super Bowl? He will not. Patrick Mahomes is going to do one of two things. He's going to win a Super Bowl or he's going to keep throwing interceptions. He won't do both. And DeAndre Hopkins, I think, helps him throw fewer interceptions. I think he opens up the middle of the field. And I think he makes Travis Kelce a better tight end.
Which they need.
And all of that to say, I agree, he will help them.
Yeah.
He will not be the reason they win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say, I'll be really curious to see what they ask of him. When you watch that first Chiefs game with DeAndre Hopkins, what's it look like?
Okay. This right here is elite level commenting on the Marty program. We want Cooper Kupp in Mexico's paying for
That's one of the best comments we've had in a couple weeks.
Oh,
I'll
my
give you a
God.
lot of credit. Who is that? Who is that?
Sir Bob Lobbs.
Yeah. Well done, dude.
That's so
really
good.
well done.
That's so good. Real Wade Nation gaming clips. Member for 5 months.
Nice job.
Monty is awesome. Let's go Buffs. Ooh. Don't undersell one of the leads. Did you guys see the story yesterday? Where is it? Dadgummit. Is Florida State making a coaching change?
Can't resist.
Yeah. There's a story, and most people are talking about it now. It's not like it's some exclusive here. There's a story that Florida State would fire Mike Norvell after this season if they could get one of two coaches. Deion Sanders would be their first choice.
Do you believe?
And Urban Meyer is their second choice.
Stop, dude. No. Can't do it.
Now, would good old ass grabber at a sports bar come out of retirement?
Yeah, Pervin Meyer.
Pervin Liar, please. Would everybody's favorite facilitator of domestic violence on his coaching staff come out of retirement? That's probably too much. My point is
a lot.
Would Pervin Liar come out of retirement to scold his friends in Gainesville by going to Florida State? I have a hard time believing that Urban Meyer would take the Florida State job. Would Deion Sanders leave Colorado to go to Florida State? Yes. Yeah. What did I tell you? I think Thursday or whatever day it was. Shador and Shiloh are going to the NFL. Travis Hunter is going to the NFL. Those are his 3 kids. Like Jimmy is Michael's kid. Travis Hunter is Deion's boy.
Yeah.
That's his son. He treats him like he's his son. That's not his. The DNA is different. They haven't been tested as far as I know, but it's fine. Ancestry.com. It's simple. Take care of it. Jimmy Butler and Michael Jordan. But my point is, his guys
are not the guy.
Michael Jordan is Jimmy Butler's dad. Anyway, the point is, if you are Deion Sanders and your kids are going to the NFL,
yeah.
Tell me that you're in Florida State calls you and you're like, hey, Prime.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a higher level program, no doubt.
Mike Norvell sucks as a coach. We're looking for you. If they got Deion Sanders to commit, and here's my question, would Deion Sanders take a job that's already filled? If Florida State went to Deion and said, we're going to fire Mike Norvell, but only if you take the job, I have a feeling Deion would say no to that. I don't think he would do that. Now, if it was back channeled that Mike Norvell is on the outs and we'd like to hire you, and you can bring your son who's your videographer and we can do the Amazon Prime Coach Prime show, which is phenomenal if you're not watching it, I think he would.
Florida State's done that in the past.
I think they would. And would you fire Mike Norvell? They're really bad.
Yeah, I probably would.
You guys.
So let's be fair. What needs to be said, hey, you lost a ton of talent. There's no question about that. You're not anywhere near the same program you were. But the problem with that is it's Mike's responsibility to backfill.
They are 1-6. That's not losing talent. And I understand they got Uyunglele, but
that's the issue, isn't it?
You chose him. You knew who he was. And you've lost 6 games and your only win is against Cal and you scored 14 points doing it. That's a bad football team. And you
are going to get roasted.
if you get blitzed, because you're going to Miami.
It's not if they're going to get roasted.
If you get lit up at Miami,
yeah,
because I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. You are going to beat North Carolina, right? I mean, because the only team worse than you in the league, and Cal don't count. No offense, Calford, but Cal don't count.
Yeah, no duh.
Well, actually, they're not worse than you because North Carolina's got 3 wins and you've got 1. You're 1-5 in conference, dude.
Hot ass.
I could see firing Mike Norvell.
Yeah,
I could see that. There's no question about it. So, let's see. Stadium guy James is here. Hey, can you call Ryan Smith and have him put an upper deck on top of the Delta Center? Can you work that out for us? We'd appreciate it.
Hold on, bro. Like,
what team did the Mountain West add? Nobody yet. You should go back to the beginning.
Yeah, go back to the beginning of the show and digest our IPF report.
Go get a hot dog off the roller. Go get a glizzy, and then head on back. Go Balance. Prime may go to FSU if we in Florida legalize marijuana in a few weeks. Otherwise, no. Do you think he's a weed smoker?
Why are you taking shots at Prime, dude? Come on.
You guys don't think you're going to legalize? Well,
don't.
Good old Ronnie ain't going to let you.
No, not doing it.
That's probably true. No. Force Ghost Fabio. No one, the stadium guy, James. Rumor is Mountain West and Grand Canyon in talks B-ball only. Okay. Chewy Gonzalez. FSU already snubbed Deion Sanders. I doubt it. Well, and that's a common refrain. And it's not a bad point. But has Deion, I think he's changed everybody's opinions now.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. I'm not the only one telling you anymore that they're vastly improved.
Yeah, Feinbaum's saying you're improved. You're doing something right.
Oh, is Feinbaum even on the train? Because he hates Coach Prime.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, Deion Sanders has built a really solid foundation now at Colorado.
Yeah.
And your kids are going to the NFL. I think he would do it. Sir Bob Lob, I don't think he's getting fired. That's the real question. If you're Florida State, are you firing Mike Norvell?
If you can get Deion, yeah, you are. Yeah.
I think that is what is his career? I should have looked at this. I apologize. What is Mike Norvell's career record?
Not enough to too much.
Not enough to too much. Good old Mikey is 70-38. Well, that's not elite. 70-38. Here's the problem, though. In conference, he's 20-18 in conference.
Yeah.
That's not good.
By the way,
and he's 32-23 over. This is his 5th season at Florida State already?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And he's only been to 2 bowl games, and we remember last year.
He's been pretty mediocre. He has.
He was way better at Memphis.
And by the way, Got to point it out since we're talking about
this
the
is
ACC.
his 5th year at Florida State.
Yes,
it's probably different than what you're thinking, though.
Got to talk about Dabo real quick as far as it pertains to Mike Norvell. Clemson loses to Georgia week 1. Clemson's rattled off 5 in a row now, 6 in a row. And I'm not a Clemson guy. I'm definitely not a Dabo guy. But as far as, hey, is Mike going to get fired? Talk is concerned.
Do they have a quality win though? And I'm not trying. Who are you?
No. But I'm not saying I'm not trying to have the CFP conversation. I'm saying if you look around the conference and you say, hey, it's us and it's Clemson. Clemson's in a way better spot with Dabo right now.
Don't forget SMU now.
Yeah, and don't forget about Tarrant County, all hat, no cattle, 50-gallon bucket hat people.
Listen, read the front of our jersey stick. It's Dallas.
Yeah.
We really did.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
So good. I so good. Chewy, FSU made the worst portal decision in DJU. My God. You're not. My God. Stadium guy. If I was FSU, I'd go after Indiana's head coach. Google him. Kirk said, Google him. All I do is win. Google me.
What I just said.
FSU playing like Utah. Google me, bro. Do we have it? Do we still have? God damn it.
No.
We need to get that.
Yeah.
That is iconic. And real quick on Oak State. Nothing's ever real quick on Oak State. Should Oak State be worried about Ollie Gordon? Did you guys hear what Gundy said yesterday?
Player retention's based on money. I'll give you an example. If you're playing on our team and we go 3-9, and right now you're making $12,000, and we say, hey, if you come back, we'll pay you $250. What are you going to do? Player retention is probably 90% built on money now, not other things. It's changed.
So where's Ollie Gordon going?
Well, Monty, Ollie Gordon's going to Florida State with Prime, man.
No Monties. Listen, I'm telling you, if you are in Stillwater, you're in real trouble here. Why can't Mike Gundy, and I'm going to go back to what do we still have that bite of him saying that there's no this
right
one
there, yeah.
Go back to this gem right here from Mike Gundy.
That's what I told the players. There's no negotiating now. Portal's over. All negotiations history. Now we're playing football.
You can enjoy
just coaching and playing football.
Conference and a 12-team playoff and everything being so different, just the newness of it.
Yeah, and the business side of what we do now is we have to have those conversations with them. Tell your agent to quit calling us and asking for more money. It's non-negotiable.
Bro.
And then
player retention's based on money.
So wait. Are you Mike? Are you saying that Ollie Gordon's people got to you?
So next time you and Ollie are having a couple of beers together, because who hasn't done that? Maybe you should ask him what it's going to cost to retain him. Do you guys understand? I think major change is coming to that roster. And if you lose Ollie Gordon to the portal, is Ollie Gordon going to the NFL?
No, I think he's got another year. It's been such a trash year for him.
This is going to be really interesting to watch because I think this is going to be Chewy. Ollie Gordon's heading to SEC upper decks, bro.
Yeah, seriously.
What do you guys, in all seriousness, do you guys think? Does Ollie Gordon he's an NFL running back?
Yeah, certainly.
He's got the body for it.
Yeah, but when you ask if he's going to the NFL or not, I don't know. What's he going to get in NIL? Right? I mean, what's the proposition of staying in college football versus going to the league? Because you had a crappy year this year, so your draft stock is much less than it would have been last year, and if your NIL money is high, if you can go and get $1 million.
His NIL evaluation is $500,000, $499,900. He has got deals with EA Sports, McDonald's, and On It Athlete. Yeah, I don't know. he has lost money this year, according to certain sums of people. He is making, here are some of the other. Shedeur Sanders is obviously the top earner in all of college football. Shedeur Sanders making $6.1 million. Travis Hunter, number 2 at 3.3. Arch Manning's number 3 in college football at 3.1. Cooper Flagg, 2.6 million with New Balance. And let's not forget about Livy Dunn making $4 million. So I guess when you look at some of these numbers, who is, and this is the problem, Ollie Gordon right now is not even in the top 100. Do you guys understand that Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt's making $855,000?
Oh. But he's staying at Oklahoma State will cost him money. There's no question about that.
And you look at a guy like I don't know, who's Will Campbell at LSU making $880,000.
I also, don't think we should be comparing backs to quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter.
It does.
Miller Moss is making $912,000 at USC. Are you telling me that Miller Moss is making more money than Ollie flipping Gordon?
Yes.
If you're Ollie Gordon,
he's the USC quarterback.
Are you upset with that? If I'm Ollie Gordon, I'm livid about that. Are you out of your mind? You have Wyatt Millam at West Virginia making $925,000. He's a goddamn tackle. Making $900,000, you're making $499.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to.
Now, also, he's got the DUI situation, though, which is not helping his case.
But Caleb Downs is making $946,000.
Mm-hmm.
Ollie, you can't tell me Ollie Gordon's staying at Oak State. You can't. If you're Ollie Gordon, do you? Because I think this is his 3rd year, technically, so he's NFL draft eligible. But you can't go to the NFL draft now, didn't you? When you cost yourself a ton of money?
Yes. You need to go to another program for a year and have a big year.
You can't play BYU every week, Ollie. I mean, that's the sad reality of it. I don't know. I think there's he will not.
But I do think it's hilarious. Gundy's done a full 180 on this situation, which I think is, like.
Mel Kiper in the latest big board has Ollie Gordon as the 4th running back.
Yeah.
And this was in September. Oof. That's not good. That is not good. And I think that when you look at his, and just looking at Mel Kiper's October 17th projection, he's got Travis Hunter, number 1, Will Johnson, the corner at Michigan, Avi, number 2, Abdul Carter, Calvin Banks, Mason Graham, Nick Scroton from Tech, and Mikael Williams from Georgia, Malaki Starks from Georgia, and then who's the number 1 running back off the board? My guy, Ashton Ginty.
Yeah.
But shouldn't this be an Ollie Gordon conversation?
Yeah.
Are you telling me he shouldn't be right there with, would you rather have in the NFL Ashton Ginty or Ollie Gordon? Well, I'm taking Ginty now. And I don't care who he's running against.
Yeah, but you do care that he's 5'9".
Yeah. But he doesn't even have, I'm through the first round and I don't see Ollie Gordon's not even in the first round.
No, that's what I'm saying. Ollie Gordon's like a 2nd, 3rd rounder right now.
And look at the running backs. Ashton Ginty, Hampton from North Carolina, Johnson from Iowa, Taj Brooks, the 4th running back right now at Texas Tech, Judkins at Ohio State 5, Singleton at Penn State 6, Le'Veon Moss at A&M 7, Jonah Coleman at Washington 8, Jordan James at Oregon 9, and Travion Henderson at Ohio State 10. You're not even in the top 10. You're not going to the NFL.
Nope.
You're not going to the NFL. Bench Caruso says, who says Ollie just won't go to the NFL after this year?
He ain't doing that, bro. I don't think. I just don't think
so either.
That based on how the NFL views Ollie, I don't know that it's smart for him to. But, hey, maybe he does. Maybe he does. Mayor
McCluskey also says you can't BYU every week. Low blow, Morty, low blow. But he loves kicking the crap out of BYU.
Is BYU not the only team he's run all over this year?
Dade Messina. What's up, Dade? Travis Hunter going to the Panthers. He is. They're so bad.
You excited to have Bryce Young start this week, bud?
It's his last best chance. Wow, Aaron Wilson. Ratio of comments read in an hour, 3.5 per hour. When I'm reading comments. Why are you being a red ass now, Aaron? That's not the Aaron Wilson.
No.
Maybe I got duped. Bench Caruso, you can't play BYU every week. That's right. Ollie is late second to third round. I don't think he can come out.
No.
I don't think he can come out. I really don't. I think he's got to stay in college because you're gonna lose bread on that.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose bread on that, in my opinion.
That rookie deal's got to be better than that.
Yeah, I would agree. Look at Real Wade Nation gaming clips for 5 months. Monty is awesome. Let's go Buffs. Yes. So Deion Sanders to Florida State, yes or no?
Yes, I think they will offer him.
Ollie Gordon to the portal, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Chewy Gonzalez. Did you read the USC story on them admitting rich kids as walk-on athletes, but they're not on the roster. They're only doing it for donations. I mean, you could. I did not see that story, but that's not an uncommon practice.
Got to get money however you can, bro. You're going to buy out Lincoln.
I think that's pervasive. That, hey, my kid wants to play football at X University. I'll give you $1 million donation if you let him walk on. Okay, cool. I mean, that happens all the time. That's not new. Bench Caruso, again, the real question is, what does Ollie's shower schedule be like next year?
See, you're not getting away from this now.
Loner phone. Pitt was 3-9 last year. This year on pace for 10 wins. Come on, Gundy's a clown. Okay. You haven't beaten anybody. How big tonight is huge? If you lose tonight. Loner phone, will you be here tomorrow if you lose tonight?
You already know the answer to that.
Matt Ritson, Deion would be a better fit USC than Florida State. No. Deion's not a West Coast guy. Deion, I mean, he grew up in Florida. He played at Florida State.
But I have to say, Lincoln's not a West Coast guy, and that hasn't really worked. I think to thrive at USC, you need to be like, you need to have grown up there. You need to have understood, like, you got to have family there. You need to have spent time there and understand how it works in LA, because it's different than in Tallahassee or, Gainesville.
Yeah. Yeah. Stadium guy James. Oak State is a bunch of young O-linemen chomping at the bit to play. Their O-line will be better next year, so Ollie will stay. Do you really think it's about the O-line there?
Play the clip again. Play it again.
Do you really think?
Like, really?
Player retention is based on money. I'll give you an example. If you're playing on our team and we go 3-9, and right now you're making $12,000, and we say, hey, if you come back, we'll pay you $250. What are you going to do? Player retention is probably 90% built on money now, not other things. It's changed.
I'm going to say that old line ain't part of player retention.
Yeah.
If I'm Ollie Gordon and Ohio State says, hey, dude, we need a running back.
Because they will.
Here's $1 million. Come play it. Come play at the. I'm out. There's nothing to think about. Nothing to think about. If Texas says, hey, we want to pair you with Arch, I'm out. There's nothing to talk about. If Notre Dame, the beloved, Ollie doesn't go to church. I think there are
like a mid, like not the best teams in the SEC, but like Ole Miss, LSU.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt if Lane Train called, Brian Kelly is just such a dickhead. Like, do you really want to play for Brian Kelly? Is that a guy that's like, oh, I got to go play for a fake Southern accent guy? No, you'd rather hang around and have drinks with Mike Gundy.
Yeah, the Pepsi mechanic.
Right? Yeah. I mean, at least you can watch Mike run his face into his bowls.
Well, and at least you can get DUIs and not get in trouble for it. So,
well,
they
did make him run stairs.
Right.
I don't think there's any doubt that Ollie Gordon needs the Judkins.
Yeah.
Go to Ohio State and become a top 5 draft pick.
He needs the right situation. It's the bottom line. And whether that's Ohio State level program or, if that's going west, like, I don't know, but you got to find a good situation where you're going to be the back and you can go out and put up numbers.
Well, I think the other program that I would watch is hold on one second. Where is my guy from? Ollie Gordon he is a junior. He's from Fort Worth. The old text machine is coming through.
But you're not going.
If Texas calls you and says, "Hey, come home," you're not going?
Yeah, you'd go to Texas. I thought you were going to say TCU.
No. Come on. He's got to go to the NFL. You're going to a major brand.
Yeah.
Texas, Ohio State. I think Ohio State's going to have a clear need at running back. Texas is going to have a clear need at running back. Arch Manning's going to be your starting quarterback. You're going to have fat ass offensive tackles that are going to be amazing. Their defense is going to be amazing.
Hot ass.
Yeah.
I think that there is
and
no
the NIL
doubt.
money will be better at Texas. Sorry, Oak State.
Yeah. I think that there's no doubt. He's proven himself to be a stud. That comment was not accidental. That was a comment of frustration from Mike Gundy. Delaric goes to FSU with Prime. Now that's a rebuild. He ain't got time. He's got 1 year to show that he's the best running back in college football. And I think he could be.
Yeah. He's got the talent too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That offense, Casey Dunn is why you're going to lose him, in my opinion. But that's just me. The stadium guy, if Ollie does leave, I hope he goes to Ohio State from one OSU to another. Okay.
Will we get a report on his career from the IPF if he does, or
from the IPF? Oak State James hit us the other day with, "Hey, can you tell me where the IPF at Utah is?"
Literally, he didn't say indoor practice facility. He said IPF.
Listen, I'm going to Utah. They hired me for a consult on blocking the mountains because they need more CNS seating so that people can eat glizzies in comfort. And so when I was there, I was just, I was going to tell them, "Hey, let's move the IPF on top of the field at Rice Eccles. That way you guys can say you have a dome stadium."
Man, and I talked to Morty about it, and he thought it was a great idea. So let's do this.
I need to reinforce the girders.
Yeah, let's do this.
James rolling in here with, "Hey, where's the IPF at Utah?"
You're awesome, dude.
Oh, it's why James is a legend on this show. It is what it is. Oh, boy. Do I read a non-member comment or no?
I don't know. Is it a good one?
Mario edits. UNLV over Boss State. UNLV goes to the playoff. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Bradley Dunkel. Me and my family. Goes to FSU with Prime. No, I read that one already. My apologies. Let's see. Go Balance. Is Liberty out of the running of that 12 spot with that loss last? That's a bad loss.
Over.
That is a bad loss by Liberty last night.
It's over.
Like, how do you lose to Kennesaw State?
You don't lose as an FBS team. You do not lose to the FCS and think you're getting in.
To Kennesaw State.
Yeah, be better, dude.
Come on. Loner from UNC is down. Cal's been in every game. West Virginia, Cincy are solid wins. Cincinnati's a good win. Satterfield's done good things there. How good is West Virginia?
They're solid. They're not a world beater. They're solid.
Dave Messina. Ohio State plays Texas week 1 next year. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Which one would you rather play at? If you're Ollie Gordon. Texas. And we don't know but you know the kids from Fort Worth.
Yes.
Probably Texas.
But I also think your point about Arch Manning, your point about
the offensive line.
I think
Sark in that offense.
Yeah, but I also think, and I agree with that, I also think that the culture at Texas and where that program is right now, even after the loss to Georgia, I think that Texas, to me, is at a higher level right now than Ohio State.
But are they back? Is Texas? Sorry.
Like
here's Texas's schedule next year at the Ohio State at the shoe. San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston, Oklahoma, Florida, at Georgia, at Kentucky, at Mississippi State, Arkansas, Texas A&M, at DKR, and then Vandy.
Bro, look at all those away games right there.
Yeah. You mean the month of October?
Bro, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky,
Mississippi State.
All on the road, all back to back.
Hey, welcome to the SEC.
Good Lord.
Stark. Welcome. It's good to see you.
Damn.
And that, yeah, you better get fat early in the season. That's a schedule that can put Ollie in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Fat old Mormon and dying. Oh, Gordon to Tarrant County University. You know, Xavier Wolf, most toxic show in college football. That's us. That's us.
A new one. I haven't heard that before, bro.
Loner phone. Eli is a redshirt freshman, so undervaluing him is a mistake a lot make. I'm not undervaluing him. The stadium guy, James, wait, he's from Fort Worth. Why couldn't Ollie go to TCU? Would you go to TCU? Let me see.
It's quite simple, so I don't know why motherfuckers be overcomplicating.
They're not good, and Texas is elite. Okay, yeah, let's go to.
Like
what? What? Calford with 10 more.
Stop, bro.
Prize Picks has been treating you well, my friend. I hope that's true. If Ollie went to SMU, that would be awesome. Let him wear Eric Dickerson's old number.
Stop, dude.
Fort Worth is not Dallas, and Dallas is not Fort Worth. You know this already.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It is what it is. RJ Seaman, yes, 1982 Cotton Bowl. They beat Pitt's 7-6, owes them a punch in the face. Okay,
thank you.
Aaron Wilson, so you guys extort your subs to become members?
What are you talking about, bro?
Like, what are you talking about? I don't think you're the real Aaron Wilson. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Bench Caruso. Who is playing against Caruso tonight? I'll take him in my Prize Picks and win the cheddar cheese.
I don't know. Who the hell do they have tonight?
Bro, why are you hating on my guy Caruso? So he had some weed at the airport. Who hasn't done that 1,000 times, Mike Gundy? Are you kidding me? OKC, who
tonight.
No, they play the Thunder.
No,
they play the
Denver.
Nuggets tonight, in Denver. Both their tip-offs. It's a ball arena. I think OKC is the best team in the West.
People are asking questions about Denver, bro. Like, they gave Aaron Gordon the max.
I don't love that contract.
Yeah, I don't love it either. And they were real hesitant, and Aaron Gordon had to fight for that with his people. And there's a lot of concerns about Jamal Murray's ability to stay healthy.
A lot of miles on the tires, man.
And obviously, Jokic playing internationally in the Olympics. Like, we'll see. We'll see if they can stay healthy again. And quick side note, I don't have an issue with these dudes not playing back-to-backs. Everyone's all up in arms about this. Like, Jokic has played a ton of basketball.
Why would you do that? Why would you play them back-to-back?
Yeah.
Why would you play them back-to-back? Yeah. I wouldn't play them back-to-back. It just doesn't make sense. Fat old Mormon and dying. SMU will be the easiest path for Ollie to show off, but still be in a reputable conference. No reason to take more of a risk at Texas. I don't think it's a risk. You're on national TV every week and huge games.
Yeah, it's opportunity.
Yeah, playing with Arch Manning.
Yeah.
That's how you get moved up the draft board. In my opinion, I think. James needs to stick to stadium upgrades and IPFs, not where Ollie is going. That's got to be tough to be an Oak State fan right now.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
You're in a spot where you just don't.
Well, I mean,
the question great is, about
do you believe that Mike can fire his coordinators and do what Deion did, which is roll the program over? Because now, y'all remember, right? Oh, well, Deion rolled this whole program over. He's garbage. They're terrible. And now everyone's saying, oh, no, wait. He rolled over 100 players. It's been reported. Over 100 players in his program. And now they finally have a decent roster. Is Mike Gundy willing to do that? And the answer right now is I don't think he is. But we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, it's tough to be a fan right now.
Yeah, I think it is very tough to be a fan. I would agree with that. I think it's really difficult.
Yeah, it's asking a lot.
Yeah. A couple of NFL stories before we get out of here. Anybody see that our good friend Bobby Salah is back in the NFL?
Bob.
Not with the 49ers, but with his buddy in Green Bay. Dude, anybody that he's going to be a position to be determined.
Yeah, can I ask you a question, though? Why is it that Matt LaFleur said that Bob Salah is helping with the offense? Can I just ask that question? Why are you having him help with offensive schematics in Green Bay?
Because that tells me that they're having trouble diagnosing the defense at the line of scrimmage. That's what that tells me.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think that good old Bobby Saleh is an incredible motivator. He is an elite coordinator. And I think I don't care. Put him on, let him change the oil on the team bus. You're better for having Robert Saleh on your staff.
Yeah. And you knew it wasn't going to be long. I mean, nobody, he was never going to be out of the league long.
And he's making $20,000 a day.
Yeah. So they don't even have to pay him, which is
$20,000 a day.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Stadium Guy James, 2 points. Monty is not toxic. 2, if Utah added 15 suites to the east side of Rice-Eccles, it would add over $3 million in revenue per year. How is that a bad thing? Because it would block the view. You're serious. You're really doing this. It would block the view of the mountains at Rice-Eccles Stadium.
James.
And that's the student section.
James, I have a piece of advice, just me to you, okay? You have such an opportunity to be an elite troller on this show with this type of content, and I don't think you realize the opportunity in front of you, man. There are so many ways, because you are being dead ass serious with this comment. I know you are.
I think you're legitimately asking this.
Yeah.
So Rice-Eccles Stadium sits.
Yeah, look. He just said right there.
What?
Towards the bottom right there. His next comment right there.
I'm not joking. Suites at BPS in Stillwater are $300K each. Do the math. If Utah charged $200K, but that stadium has been renovated multiple times, and it is now amazing. They just did the south end zone, and it's amazing. They don't want more seats. They don't need more seats. They have more demand than they have seats, which is exactly what they need. I think Lavelle Edwards Stadium at BYU, much the same. The ambiance and the location of those stadiums in the foothills of the mountains. The University of Utah is in the foothills. It's up on a hill, literally. And it's as beautiful as any venue. I happen to think Lavelle Edwards has a more scenic and beautiful panorama, but you're not blocking a mountain view at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Like you're out of your mind. And I'll try to find a picture of it. You're out of your mind if you think that they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no reason that you would ever change that view. And when you look at Rice-Eccles Stadium, and this is a pretty good picture right here. You look at Rice-Eccles Stadium, and you start to understand what makes that place special. Bro, it is not blocking the eastern view. Because what is the eastern view at Rice-Eccles Stadium? It is the mountains.
Yeah.
And one of the things, if you've never been to a Ute game at Rice-Eccles Stadium, one of the things that is so amazing about it, wrong spot, my bad. One of the things that's so amazing about it is that at night, and they play usually 2 night games a year at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Here's the east side that he's talking about. That's what we call the MUS, the Utah student section. Like, I paid money for that. You see the Utah sign in the north end zone? Do you guys understand that that's not on the campus? That's not on the stadium site, and that football fans in Salt Lake City in 2015 donated money to get that roof painted on the warehouse. If you add luxury suites where those light stands are, you're blocking the mountain views. You're never going to do that.
No.
And I would also point out that that's the side of the field that the Utah football team stands on. So that's the home. There's
no reason to change it.
You would never do that.
Yeah. It's quite literally fine exactly how it is.
You just would never do that.
Well,
and Tanner, this is where I think it is. Like, Hey, James, what changes would you make to Real Salt Lake State? Now, this is a conversation. Now, if you want to put a grandstand on the north side there to block the mountain view, please do.
Well, in the good news is that ownership at RSL has actually said that they have an open checkbook to fund RSL. So
Wait, isn't that BYU basketball? Moth Prof says, good day, sickos. Hello.
So, dude.
Hello. Tanner, Aaron, there's no debate. I am, and I'm proud of it.
I'm not convinced this is the real Aaron Wilson.
This is not the
bro.
real Aaron Wilson.
No.
It's not. Bench Caruso, why would you upgrade the seats at RES when no one is showing up to games? You're such a homer. You are such a homer.
That's a great comment, dude. That's hilarious.
God. That's amazing. Steve Stepanek, how are you? Yes, they have a very beautiful view of the mountains. They do.
Yeah.
I think that Lavelle Edwards Stadium, and let me see if I can now, because I said this.
Jeremy.
And I'm sure Jeremy agrees with me. Lavelle Edwards Stadium is the view there of the mountains is just redonkulous. It is. If you have never seen the view, I want one with a game day. If you've never seen the view of Lavelle Edwards Stadium with the mountains, it is ridiculous. Let me see. I'm looking for the best one. Let's see. I don't know. I guess this one, but that's not like a full stadium view. This one's probably going to have to be it. It's unfortunately not full, but you'll get my point. James, this would be like you saying, hey, let's add an upper deck to Lavelle Edwards Stadium and block this. Like it's a very similar view. It's just more stunning in Provo. So here is Rice-Eccles Stadium. Here is Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Like you would never block that view.
Yeah.
And there's people who are like, oh, connect the grant. No, you're never blocking that view. You are never, there's just no reason to go messing with this stuff.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
they're perfect.
They're really good home field advantages.
Yeah.
Really good. Geoff. Hello, Geoff. BYU's football and baseball stadiums are honestly incredible. People who come from all over are always blown away.
Yeah, the orientation of the baseball stadium is elite. I mean, having the mountains as as like the outfield backdrop is crazy.
Yeah, I mean it is. Have you guys seen the BYU baseball stadium?
And I love it. I don't know if they still have it. I'm assuming they do. The fact that they put the Y in the outfield the way they do, and obviously behind home plate is love it.
That's not a great one. This one,
that's
right
a good
here.
one. Yeah,
this
that's
one
a
right
really
here.
good one. I mean, it's just elite, dude.
It is. It's wild how beautiful. And that's one of the things that I think people don't appreciate about Utah. When you live here, you just get splendor and awesomeness everywhere you go. And you look, this is BYU's baseball stadium.
Look at that. Like,
how do you beat that?
It's perfect.
I mean, Joey Smith knew what he was doing.
Yes.
It is amazing to me. It's a Joseph Smith.
That's a LDS bomb because it's BYU.
It's not LDS anymore. It's Latter-day Saints, please.
My bad. Sorry.
It is. The view is amazing. It is. Yeah. Show RSL. No, I will not.
Nope.
James needs to stop trying to fix what isn't broken. Start fixing Oak State. Don't worry about stadiums in Utah.
Bruh.
God damn. I will use the pic you put on the screen and draw on top of it 15 suites. Trust me, you can do it without blocking the view. James, nobody wants it. They don't need the money. It's not. Stop. Nothing like Colorado now. Okay.
Here we go. See, do you see what
Marty,
you've done here?
It's nothing like Dyke Stadium in Evanston.
Oh, Monty.
I agree. Mountains are tough to beat. And now we're going to have to do a comparison of Folsom Field. We're going to have to do a comparison. And this is the picture right here. It's the first one that comes up. that everybody always strengthens their forearm to in Colorado. And it is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Folsom Field and the views that you get. The difference is the light and the natural light at Folsom Field. That is Colorado's football stadium with the mountains and the sunlight and the colors. And
yeah,
I think the dusk light at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, and there's not a great picture of it. That is as gorgeous. I think that's as gorgeous as it gets.
Yeah.
And the thing about Lavelle Edwards Stadium is it's not as loud as Rice-Eccles Stadium, in my opinion. I haven't been to both in huge games. I don't think have you been to a Utah game? And Jake's never been to a Utah game. It's remarkable. It is remarkable. Delaric, James, don't block the view because they need something to distract them when they are playing bad.
And there it is. I've been waiting for that.
Sir Bob, Rutgers Stadium has a view of Jimmy Hoffa's rotting corpse.
Okay, dude, chill. Chill, dude.
That's so good.
Bruh.
That is so good. Scintillating commentary, Monty. Exactly.
That's what you're here for.
My brothers have been to Utah games, and they said LES was louder. Okay.
Well, I mean, if they said it,
it must be true.
Yeah.
It must be
obviously.
True. It's fine. It is fine. All right. As always, the Monty Show is presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, where you get clear, risk-free advice. Chat with an injury attorney live online 24/7, 365. Syracuse or Pitt?
Syracuse.
You're taking Syracuse.
Taking the Cow Cords.
Loner phone is going to hunt you down. Vikings or Rams? Minis -3 at LA.
Vikings.
You got to take the Vikings.
You have to.
And I think Cooper Kupp gets traded next week.
Is going to get right tonight.
Love you. Love you. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.